Hello girl, and welcome back for another video.
Eso se ve bien, bebecita. Yo tengo lo que tú necesitas.
Girlfriend, today's episode is going to be so inspirational. It's going to be that fire that you need under your booty. You might already be on that mission, and that is going on a 40-day challenge to becoming her. Today's episode or today's topic is majorly inspired by the ladies that I have been seeing on TikTok. So all over my TikTok feed, I have been seeing the 75-day hard challenge or the 75 hard challenge. And then my ladies were letting me know inside my group coaching, inside rehearsal, that there is another one called the winter arc, where pretty much women are getting ahead of the curve, starting on their new glow up before the year starts. So that way, by the time the new year starts, they already have momentum. They're already ahead of the game. And so that's what today's episode is inspired by. I'm inspired to come on here and give you 40 days to shift your self-concept. It is more than possible. There have been so many studies that show time after time again that your subconscious mind is programmed in 40 days. Some say 28 days, but 40 days is standard. And I want to let you know that if you want to reclaim an area of your personality, of your reality as well, because your personality is creating your reality, if you want to reclaim that, you can do that in 40 days, starting right here, right now. So I know that throughout the entire year, it's October, your higher self has been revealing to you time and time again self-concepts that do not serve you. Maybe throughout the year, you have been coming across the pattern of tapping into a self-concept ingrained in lack, ingrained in not being confident. And so knowing this, go into your 40-day becoming her challenge. Go into it with the intention of reprogramming that aspect of yourself, reprogramming the insecurities, the not enoughness, the lack, the focusing on not having enough. Reprogram that in 40 days. It's one thing to just merely say, this is my new avatar, this is my new identity, but it's game changer when you take the patterns that you're so over manifesting in your 3D reality, you take those patterns and you reinvent them. That is where it gets magical, because if you are experiencing chaos, if you are experiencing a problem, if you are experiencing anything that's just doesn't feel good, that is actually showing you the most valuable piece of information you can receive. It is telling you exactly who you are meant to grow into next. Source is pulling out a new self-concept out of you. Source is inviting you to level up this area in your life. So girlfriend, level up that area. Put a stop to these patterns. Put a stop to this cycle of repeating and repeating and repeating the same reality, the same year after year. Like nothing is more boring than that, than repeating the same effing year. And that's one of my worst fears, is like living in the same year as the previous one. I have a fear of stagnation. Honestly, that's my biggest fear, is like stagnation, not making progress. And so one of the key ways that I've been able to make progress, track that progress, and be able to compare it, have something to look back on and see for myself, yes, I've been able to glow up. Yes, I'm improving. The thing that has been helping me do this is every single quarter, I set out on a new mission. I set out on a mission to reinventing myself every quarter. And that's something that I literally invite you to do every quarter. I create an episode of like your Q1 glow up, your Q2 glow up, your Q3 glow up. Like I'm always creating these episodes because every single quarter, I want to keep you accountable. I want to help you track your progress, see that you are growing, and get excited about reinventing new areas as well. Like this new information that we're collecting throughout the quarters, we're also reinvesting that into our glow up. So again, what is something that you have been catching patterns of show up in your reality? And these are going to be characteristics, personality traits, stories, narratives, lies that you have been spinning on, that you've been telling yourself, delusions you've been spinning on. think about, what are those delusions? What are the delusions that are not serving me? Because the more clear you are on what the problem is, the clearer you will be on the solution. If you need help with this, I will have a free PDF that you can click below this podcast episode to help you follow along. These follow along questions are going to be like, what are the narratives that you tell yourself every day? What stories are you spinning on every single day? So if you want something to follow along this episode, I will be creating a follow along PDF. Go ahead, click the link below this episode, download it. My team will email you the exact same workbook questions, so follow along. So ask yourself, what is the narrative that I've been telling myself? What patterns, what red flags have I been giving myself? Is it that every single time I go out with friends or I go on social media, I'm comparing myself? Is it that I'm always constantly checking my ex's page? Is it that every single time it's time to pay for something, I embody lack? I feel this resistance. Identify the characteristics, the stories, the narratives that you've been telling yourself, the self-concepts that you're just so over embodying. Because next, what you're going to do is you are going to literally go one by one and reprogram it. By the way, if you want to focus in on one self-concept, I find that it works a little easier, especially because it's 40 days, right? Like that's why I have my rehearsal program for like all the self-concepts you want to embody, master your dream life in there. But in this 40-day challenge, I want to make it easy. The more easier we make it, the more you're going to be able to hone in and implement. So if you can keep it down to like one or two self-concepts you want to reprogram in 40 days, it's going to be beautiful. So again, what are the stories you've been telling yourself? And now it's time to take note of these stories. Look at these stories and ask yourself, what self-concepts am I embodying by telling myself these stories? These stories that I have been telling myself, what self-concept am I emitting? What frequency am I emitting? And is this serving me? Is this creating my dream reality? Chances are it's not. So after you do that, then what I want you to do is start to recreate your narrative. What new stories do you want to tell yourself? What new beliefs do you want to live by? What new truths do you now want to stand firm on? Again, I will have a follow along. So if you need help, ladies, I got you. But make a list of your new stories. And now really comes the next part is really going to be the 40-day to becoming her challenge part. So what I want you to do is every single morning, I want you to say this affirmation with a ton of emotion, with a ton of attitude, with the more emotionally involved you can get, the more real it feels, the better. So if you're saying an affirmation like, I am a wealthy woman, I want you to feel what it would feel like to actually live in the body of the wealthiest version of you. If you are saying the affirmation, I am a confident woman, then I want you to actually take yourself to that body, into your most confident self's body, your future self's body, and feel the sensations. What does it actually feel like to be in the body of the most confident version of you? So I pick that affirmation and say it every single morning. Yes, girl, this is part of the challenge. This is why it's a challenge. And essentially, you're already doing this. You are already telling yourself stories every single day. You're spinning on them, you're spinning on them, and you're spinning on them. Why not spin on a better story? Why not spin on your truth? Why not create a better tomorrow is my question. You really have you have nothing to lose and everything to gain, girl. So start to implement this practice. Take this for real. And here is the key part too I want you to do is if you skip a day, let's say you got busy on Saturday and it totally went over your head, you forgot to say your affirmation, I want you to restart the 40 days. I want you to go back to day one and go again consistent. You must go consistently throughout all of these 40 days. I promise you, my intention is that if you do fall back, that you just make up for it even more. It's totally fine if you fall back. It's totally fine if you forget a day, because I find that the more you do this, the better. So that is your challenge, girl, okay? Make sure you stick to it and make sure you're able to track yourself. The second step, you are not done, is after you say your affirmation in the morning, I want you to sit down, crisscross applesauce, and visualize or AKA meditate on that affirmation. If you're saying I'm a wealthy woman, then what does that look like to you? What does it look like to live in the body of the wealthiest version of you? If that affirmation were true, what would you see in your reality? That is what I want you to meditate on. That is what I want you to visualize. And the very last step to this process is after you're done meditating, after you're done with your visualization, I want you to write down any intuitive, inspired actions that are coming through. And I want you to take that action. So let's say that one of the things you're working on is embodying confidence. You notice that you don't embody confidence anywhere you go. You're constantly looking down at your phone. You're constantly nibbling on your lip, looking socially awkward, being an anxious mess, whatever it is. I feel you, girl. I've been there. I want you to take note of that. And I want you to say to yourself, I am a confident woman. Meditate on that. And then maybe an inspired action that you can take is you can go to the grocery store and you can 100% walk like you're that bitch. I want you to flip your hair. I want you to wear shades if you have to, put on a main character outfit if you need to, whatever you need to elicit that feeling. I want you to walk like you are that girl. I want you to show up as the most confident version of yourself. Give a compliment to someone, smile at a stranger, whatever you need to show your mind through embodiment that you're already this girl, do it. I always tell my ladies inside the rehearsal program and the 12-week group coaching, I say the grocery store is going to be the best inner work playground. Any new self-concepts, any new identities that you want to try on, I promise you the best place to practice is the grocery store. It is so detached. No one knows you. No one's going to point the finger and say, she's acting like a wealthy woman, but she's not a wealthy woman. Or she's acting like she's married, but she's not married. Or she's acting like she's confident, but she's not confident. No one, and I repeat, nobody's going to tell you this, okay? Not even your own mind, because you don't know anyone. So make sure you go to like not your neighborhood grocery store where you could potentially run into someone. Go to like a nice, slightly further away area where you know no one's going to know you. Go to the grocery store and start to rehearse this new self-concept that you want to emit, the new self-concept you want to practice. Literally any self-concept, there is a way to practice at the grocery store. So have fun at the grocery store, ladies. Practice those new self-concepts. I know my girls always have so much fun practicing this. I'm telling you, it's so much fun because nobody knows you and you can literally be whoever you want. It's like you can even change your name if you want and introduce yourself to a stranger. No one will know but you. So that is a little tip. And those are the steps to the 40 days to becoming her challenge. I hope that you apply these. I hope that you do not skip out on these. And also, I want you to document this. Keep track of it. Tag me on Instagram if you want. Let me know that you're on this journey with us. Show me that you are being diligent. Show me the everyday new processes that you're doing. I love to celebrate you, ladies. I know this works because I've done it myself. I know and have proof that this shit works. Go through the steps again every single day. I want you to go through this practice. You will see changes. I promise you. I do this practice myself, slightly different. I shared it on a previous episode. It's called Walking Affirmations, where it's pretty much the same thing. I say an affirmation, I visualize, and then I also act on any downloads. And I mean any downloads, you guys. Any MF download that you receive, you must act on it. And I mean any. Like, you might think, oh, why is my higher self telling me to cut my hair? It has nothing to do with manifesting this money. It has everything to do with manifesting the money. If you cut your hair, you're going to tap into your rich bitch identity and you will manifest the money. If your higher self is telling you to take an unusual route to work today, take the unusual route, because that unusual route is going to elicit the feeling of your dream self. And it's the feeling state that is manifesting your reality. So the more you tap into the state of your wish fulfilled, of already being that individual, the more you're going to actualize becoming that individual. Now, I also want to make sure that I touch on some points where you could potentially fall short on or kind of F yourself up, for better words. The first part where I notice baddies fall short is they say the affirmation, but they're not saying it with emotion. They're not getting their emotions involved. They're saying it monotone. Again, what would it feel like if you were already this individual? You would not feel monotone. You would not feel quote unquote neutral. You would feel excited. So say that affirmation with excitement. The second piece that I see girlies fall back on is the second part, which is meditation, aka visualize on the affirmation. What does it mean to already be this individual? Visualize yourself in that dream reality. I find that girlies, when they visualize, either they're not visualizing to the point where they feel like it's actually their reality, they're seeing it outside of them, right? They are picturing the money, or they're picturing themselves being successful, but they see themselves outside of them. And also something too that I find is challenging for women is just visualizing in and of itself is challenging. They have no idea of what to visualize. They have no idea how to have full faith in that visualization, to fully, almost like, what's the word I'm looking for? Almost surrender. They have no idea how to surrender fully to that visualization, to that reality and identity. They have no idea. And so this is why I created my 20 visualization game playbook. You can get this playbook if you join my program rehearsal. And also, I will be launching my own spin-off of what I'm recording on this episode as a program. So I'm about to come out with the program. Same thing, same concept, 40 Days to Her program. And this is a program where I'm going to help you reclaim your narrative in 40 days. It's going to be so much fun. We're going to use those tools. We're going to use those games. There are so many other games inside that playbook. So if you are joining that program, get excited, girl. I feel like that is one of the most powerful projects that I've created. And I created it literally just in a PDF form. Like it's not a video, it's not a PowerPoint, it's a PDF download that you follow along with steps. And I feel like it's one of the most potent, powerful pieces that I've created, because I'm telling you, the field of creation is imagination. The better you learn how to utilize your most powerful tool, your imagination, the better you're going to be a conscious co-creator. You are going to master deliberate creation. The key to mastering deliberate creation is to master the contents of your imagination. And so having that backbone, having that playbook filled with 20 games that help you better implement, better monetize this information, the better of a deliberate creator you become. And it becomes so exciting. Like I truly, truly desire for each and every one of you guys to experience this, to see something that was once in your imagination become your reality. I think that is the most exciting feeling I've ever felt in my heart. Like the feeling of I'm deliberate creating. I'm the conscious creator of my reality. I'm in control. I decide what plays out next. If you want to decide what plays out next, take note of what's been playing out. Take note of what hasn't been playing out as well. Like, again, recognize the patterns. What are the red flags that you're giving yourself? And start to change it going into the next quarter or any measurable day count. So like this one is 40 days to becoming her, 40 days to her. Great. As long as we have something to measure and go by, that's what matters. So again, if in these 40 days you see no results, you actually have collected results. Either you're going to learn something, you're not implementing something, you're falling short on something, you don't believe in something, you need to reprogram a limiting belief around something. Like you're going to gather information regardless. It's going to teach you exactly what you need to shift. Your life has already been teaching you. Every quarter you have been receiving information. This information is downloaded through emotions. If you have not been feeling good about something, that is your sign that this is the area God wants you to master this year. Going into the new quarter, going into the next 40 days, Source wants you to level up this area. And that is how I have been able to help clients and myself master and level up personality traits that just no longer serve us, that are keeping us small, that are keeping us in the same loop year after year after year. And it's the most frustrating thing, you guys. Being stagnant is the most frustrating thing. We were meant to create. God wants us to expand. God wants us to create. God wants us to innovate. So it's when we're not doing that we actually feel the most depressed. We actually feel the most sad. We actually feel the most unfulfilled. It's missing that purpose, right? Your purpose every day is to become your best self, to remember that you are the creator of your reality. You do not have to settle for anything. Literally anything that you want, you can change it. And this is why I get so excited with problems. It's like a love-hate relationship, but more of a fetish. I have a thing for problems. Once you actually see time, I'm telling you, every quarter or 40 days, try this glow up where you're measuring yourself. Because when you see it, you can start to actually see for yourself that you are growing. You are leveling up these areas. You're not staying stagnant. Once you see for yourself that the problems are not in the way, they are the way, you start to have a fetish for them. And I promise you, I never thought I would get to the point where I would proudly say I have a fetish for my problems because I truly see, I have data. Every quarter I've been glowing up what the previous quarter has been teaching me. I have data, I have proof of how truly the problems have been the way to my dream reality, to my glow up. What you are struggling with, put a freaking stop to it. You're the creator. Stop doing it. Quit that now. I just had dinner with Juanita or lunch with Juanita. Shout out Juanita. And like she kept saying this affirmation or this statement, I should say, and I just loved it. She's like, knock it off. I was like, girl, I'm gonna start telling myself that. Like, tell yourself that. Be like, knock it off. I'm catching myself doing that thing. I'm catching myself right now, right here in the act. I'm doing that thing. I'm doing that crap I said I wasn't gonna do. I'm catching myself. Knock it off. And knock it off. Start to tell yourself, this problem is giving me valuable information. This problem is literally gold. This problem is gold mine. It's telling me that if I level up if I glow up this area in the next quarter, in the next month, or in the next year, however it takes, doesn't matter how long it takes. What matters is that I'm glowing it up and that I'm making progress. As long as I'm doing that, I'm going to make progress towards my dream reality. This is how you no longer repeat the cycle. This is how you break the cycle for yourself, for your future generations, and for your lineage. This is how you do it, girl. The problems are not in the way, they are the way. So again, what is that self-concept? What are the patterns that you've been collecting all of 2024 that are not serving you? And going into this 40-day Becoming Her challenge, I want you to glow up that area. Pick one. I really want you to hone in on one because, again, it's a 40-day challenge. I want you to be able to hone in all in on that one self-concept. If you have a lot of self-concepts, like you want to work on like 10 different things, it's going to be a little bit harder to hone in. But when you pick one, max two, you naturally zero the F in. You go all in on that affirmation, you go all in on that meditation, and you go all in on taking inspired actions aligned with that identity. So that is today's episode for you ladies. I hope that you gained exactly what you needed, that light under your booty so that you can start to really go into the next 40 days feeling inspired, feeling lit up. I wanted to give my own spin off to the challenges I've been seeing, and I feel like 40 days is perfect because 40 days is how long your mind is reprogrammed. It takes 40 days to reprogram subconscious mind, girls. So reprogram it every single day. Tell yourself the new lullaby, spin on the new delusion, act as that new self. And I promise you, girl, you will see that you are a new you. By the end of the 40 days, you have to be a new you. And again, if you skip a day, I need you to start over. I need you to start the process over because then and only then will you truly be able to experience the magic behind this challenge. I love you so much, beautiful. Have an amazing day. As well, also screenshot this episode, tag me on Instagram, let the baddies know that you are keeping yourself accountable, cheer us on, light us up, empower us, inspire another baddie to do the same. And I love you so very much, beautiful. Have an amazing day. Bye.